We are going to show you how to prepare a streak plate. The purpose of doing a streak plate is to get single isolated colonies so that you know when you're working with your bacteria you have a pure culture. The first thing we want to do when we work with bacteria is we always want to clean our work surface with 70% ethanol. Next, you'll want to gather up your materials. You'll need sterile agar plates, the culture that you want to restreak, as well as an inoculating loop, and a Sharpie for labeling your plate. When we handle agar plates, we always want to handle the plates with the lid side down. There is sometimes condensation on the inside of the lid of the plate. So if we have the plates upright, that condensation can smear the plate and ruin our cultures. So we always leave the lid on the bench and have the agar side up. So before we streak our plate, we first want to label our plate with the name of our bacterial strain, and then always include your initials and the date. And you can just write this information around the edge of the plate. So when you're ready to streak your plate, you want to ignite your Bunsen burner. And it's a good idea to work close to your Bunsen burner so that you have a sterile feel. So the first thing we do when we want to restreak a plate is you want to flame your loop. So you can hold your inoculating loop in the flame at a slight angle until the loop gets red hot. And then run the handle, just the first part of the handle, through the flame to make sure you burn off any dust. Next, you want to cool the loop on a section of the plate where there's no bacteria growing. So you simply touch the loop to the plate to make sure it's cool and that you won't kill the bacteria when you touch a colony. Now, the purpose of doing a streak plate is to get well-isolated colonies. So you want to start and pick a single well-isolated colony from your agar plate. Once you have the bacterial colony on your loop, and it doesn't take very much to inoculate a plate, you want to streak that bacteria over about a 1-inch width space on your plate. And what you're trying to do here is just spread out the bacteria and get a good heavy area of growth on your plate. Notice how when I have the plate, the lid on the bench, that it's very easy to just simply pick up the agar plate and hold it in your hand when you're streaking. That allows you to have really good control over the plate. Now, it's very important to flame your loop in between each quadrant of streaking on the plate. The purpose of doing the streak plate, it's like you're diluting the bacteria across the surface of the plate. So you heat your loop and get it red hot, let it cool a bit, and touch it to a clean area of the plate before streaking the bacteria. So I've rotated the plate slightly so the heavy area is where my thumb is, and then I touch the agar to make sure my loop is cool, and then I take the loop and I use the loop to pass through that heavy area one time and make a wide zigzag over about 1/3 of the plate. I once again place my plate face down on the bench and flame my loop once again till it's red hot. The loop is then cooled. Can rotate my plate 1/4 of a turn and then lift it up and cool the loop on the plate. You might hear it sizzle. And then once it is cool, then you pass through that second zigzaggy area that you made. You pass through it one time and make another wide zigzag on the rest of the surface of the plate. And then you have now completed your streak plate procedure. So before you finish, you want to make sure you flame your loop and let it cool before you place it back on the bench.